everybody, and welcome to Talking Hoops. It's your girl, Coach Johnson, joined by the lovely Coach Mac and the person everybody knows, Mr. Ron Briscoe. And if you don't know him, you should. Okay, how are you guys doing? Welcome back. It's good to see y'all. So many things to talk about. So many positive and great things that have recently occurred in the basketball community, especially college with March Madness going on. How, how you guys doing? Let me start there.
I'm doing well. Good to be back.
I'm great.
Coach Mac, I
This is
see you just cheesing over there, girl, with your Yukon jacket on. And
yeah.
let's go ahead and get it out
She
the
trying
way
to
now.
profile. You know
Yes.
why she doing that, huh? You know why
Yes.
she doing that?
Yes.
She doing that because the LSU
Yes.
team lost. That's why she doing that.
Yes.
But that's
Get-
wrong. That's all right. I'm gonna get
Yes.
you back. I'm gonna get
you
you
know,
back.
Ron, let's go ahead and get her out the way now. Let's go ahead. Show us the
Let's get
Yukon
her out of here.
jacket. Go
Take
ahead.
that jacket
Give us
off.
the.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, this may be a while. So I'm gonna go ahead and make sure y'all can see it.
Hey, give it to us, Coach Max. So, just starting off, we can go ahead and start with women's college basketball right now because history was made with viewership with Iowa versus LSU, and we had 12.3 million viewers. That is
Mm.
the most watched women's college basketball game on record. So I just want to do a round of applause, first of all, for everybody that tuned in. And it just makes me so happy to see the the camaraderie around women's college basketball starting to pick up. I also want to point out that the most recent NBA finals, they had 11.6 million viewers. So not only did we set a record, but
Mm,
there were more people watching a women's college basketball game than that watched the NBA finals. So kudos to all those that played, but
beautiful.
I did just want to say, while that's great and all, while it's great and all, I feel like so many people who are just now tuning in missed out on some just extremely competitive, crazy talented women's college basketball years. I mean, when you think about some of the hoopers that played even in the last decade, in the last 20 years, I mean, you have your Maya Moores, you have your Skylar Diggins when UConn couldn't lose, and Texas A&M when they won, and when Notre Dame beat UConn. I mean, when UConn didn't lose a game for how many seasons? I mean, it's just I feel like while basketball for women is doing great right now in college basketball, I would say overall the level of competition is and the skill is not the same as what it used to be. So
Hmm.
I'm just like, oh man, cheers to the people that are now watching, but boy, you missed out on some on some serious years of women's college basketball of good quality basketball.
Yes, I totally agree. And then just going back to your Cheryl Miller, your Cynthia Cooper, and just further on, like that right there, man, those were some hoopers. You want to talk about some dogs? I honestly don't think well, except for a few, there are a few I feel that can compete with that generation, but for the most part, nah, can't even compete.
Ron, your take?
Hey, you're right. Today's game, and Lisa Leslie and all of those guys like y'all just mentioned, ballers, Maya Moore ballers, and today we're seeing some new ballers coming to view. And we got Juju Watkins, who's a baller. We got Hannah for Notre Dame, who's a baller. Of course, Bucket, she's balling over there. And of course, Caitlin Clark is just magnificent. My nickname for her is Annie Oakler because can do, she can't miss. Trick shots on her head, on the side of a horse, she gets it done. She can make that shot. She's just amazing young lady, and like they've been saying, a generation type player. And I just can't wait to see the next game that she's in.
Oh, indeed. It is going to be quite the matchup with UConn. Now, we can go into predictions with matchups as we go into it. So, Coach Mac, I know who you got. So I'm gonna go with Coach Mac. We know who you're gonna pick, but
Yeah,
tell me
we can tell
what do
by the
you?
jacket she has on.
Yeah. Oh, right. Exactly.
So
Tell me what you
so
think how the game is gonna go, though. What do you see? How what are your predictions on that part?
now I'm still sticking with South Carolina winning it all. I'm still sticking with that
Okay.
part. But as far as UConn's next game, I think UConn is probably going to take this one against Iowa, and I say that mainly because if you watched the game, what was it on Monday night when USC and UConn played against each other? UConn is a much better team defensively, so it's not
Agreed.
going to be as easy to score as they did, well, as Iowa did against LSU. And we saw that how, you know, uh, UConn was guarding USC, especially with Juju. I mean, she's going to get her numbers, but they didn't make it easy. So she was what,
Mhm.
9 for 25,
Yes.
and I'm like, yeah, it's not going to be easy. But I think UConn is probably going to take this next game against Iowa.
Ron.
Well, you know, it's going to be a tough game.
Mm-hmm.
And you're right about the defense. UConn's going to come in with better defense. But one thing UConn has to worry about is Caitlin Clark. I mean, if if Bucket Becker has to guard her, then I hope she doesn't get in foul trouble. All right. And if Edwards has to guard her, I hope she doesn't get in foul trouble. She is an amazing player, and one thing that she does is she makes all the players around her better. And she doesn't have to
Hmm.
look at the ball when she's dribbling, so you never know, which way she's going to go, or if she's going to pull up and shoot that logo 3 pointer on you. But that's the only thing I see. It's going to be, to me, it's going to be a really close game. If- on, on the other hand, you got to guard Bucket because she's going to get hers.
Mm.
And on the other hand, you got to guard Clark. But you got Martin in there that Clark likes to throw the ball to. She's a really good player. But UConn having so many injuries, the bench, which Iowa doesn't have a really good bench either, but still the bench is going to have to play a part in both of these games. It's a toss up for me. Okay, uh, I don't know who's going to win. UConn may come out, but I'm gonna pick Iowa for that game.
Okay. Ron adding a bit of controversy. Okay. Uh-oh.
I'm gonna say wear that jacket next week.
Yeah.
Oh, it will be on with the logo in the background to add to it.
Oh. Oh.
Let's move on, Coach Johnson.
Okay. Okay, just real quick, I will say that I do agree with you, Coach Mack. I think UConn is a stronger defensive team. And I think really when you have two great offensive scores, they will cancel each other out. Okay. So you'll take
Hmm.
whatever they're going to give, they'll cancel each other out. Now it's going to rely on everybody else. What are they going to do? Who's going to be the X factor for their team to step up and help their team win? And that, like you said, includes the bench as well. And also, I think when it comes down to coaching, which coach is going to make the adjustment? Now, just speaking of coaching and
Mm.
adjustments, can somebody please tell me why Haley Van Lith was guarding Caitlin Clark?
I want to know the same thing.
Please, I was looking for the answer. I said, "Oh my gosh, this
Oh
is
goodness.
this is almost
Haley Van Lynn.
criminal. It is
I don't.
almost criminal what was
That was
taking place."
criminal. That was. That was. That was. I don't know what Coach Mulkey
What
was
was
thinking
what
about.
was criminal? What was criminal to me was the fact that Haley guarded her the longest. They went through three different guards. Flage, I would say, was the better guard to defend her out
That's
of
who
the
should have
three.
been guarding from the get go.
But yes, but why did you continuously let Haley guard her throughout the majority of the game? Like that just didn't make any sense at all. 'Cause it was easy money for Caitlyn. Like Caitlyn didn't even have to think about it;
It
just
was
go.
it. I felt secondhand embarrassment, and no knock against Haley. I felt like her coach did not put her in the
Right.
most successful position to play to her strengths, and guarding Caitlin was not one of them. And in the last two,
Mm.
was it 2.5 minutes, 3 minutes? Then they put Flage on her. I said, well, it's too late now. It's way too late now. She's had Haley in the fryer for the last 15 minutes.
Mm.
I mean, it just I was really taken aback, and that's why I say I think with UConn and Iowa game, it'll definitely come down to which coach is ready to make adjustments, because we know that that is equally as important to what the players are also out there doing performance wise. You could be doing your job, but if your coach is not putting
Mhm.
you in the best position to be successful and playing to your strengths and making the adjustments based on what the other team is doing, you're going to be in some trouble. You're definitely going to be in some trouble. But what a good game. It was ultimately a good game. I found it interesting the lack of touches that Angel received in those last two quarters of the game. It just seemed as if her team was having
Mhm.
difficulty getting the ball to her after having such a great start in the first half. So I was really shocked by that. But I want to know what you guys all think about Angel Reese declaring for the draft.
Oh
Well,
goodness,
let me
Ron,
tell you.
I'll let you go. That's your girl. Go ahead.
That's your girl.
That's my
Go
girl.
ahead.
Look, she just plays on a team that I like. Okay, hey, Angel Reese. Angel Reese has, in my opinion, made a mistake by going into the WNBA draft early. She's not ready. She's not ready on several reasons. She needs to learn how to get a mid-range jump shot. She needs to learn how to put the ball on the floor and go left or right to score. Uh, WNBA, when you look at that, they got girls dime a dozen at 6'3" like her. She's gonna have a really
Mhm.
tough time trying to even rebound in the WNBA. She, I think she's going to even come off the bench if she does make a team. She may not even make a team. I mean, of course, she's a very,
Mm.
you know, gutty player, gritty player. She gets out there and she works hard and she can rebound and she can score close, but they're going to be smacking her stuff away. If she doesn't find a 5,
Mm.
10, 15-foot jump shot, they're going to be smacking her stuff away. And she can't dribble that good. And she did miss a lot of shots. And she took about 22 shots in the game, and she only made 10 shots.
Hmm.
So
Mm.
she really didn't shoot the ball well. They still was on her, and she still missed a whole lot of bunnies. But they said it was because of her ankle that she
Mm.
missed a lot of shots in the second half. But Angel Reese, go overseas, to stay home, just play around on that Instagram and try to get some more hits. And because you always been running around in your bikini stuff and showing everybody, this and that and the products that you're receiving and everything, and hanging out, doing all this crazy stuff. So
Now, Ron, let me get this clear. You saying that she needs to pursue her influencer career is what I'm hearing.
that's right. Her social media career, that's what she needs to do.
Okay. Okay, Coach Mac, go ahead, because then I'll comment after you, Coach Mac, and then we'll watch Reese's video that our favorite producer behind the glass, shout out to Angel Martinez, has for us.
I think I'm so surprised by these comments that Ron said. I'm too tickled by this. But Ron, I totally agree with you when it when it comes
I'm just
to
telling the truth.
Angel
I'm just telling
and
the
the
truth.
lack. You are totally telling the truth, Ron. You couldn't have said a better truth than that. But yes, I absolutely agree with you because she's seriously lacking when it comes to development. Um, Dribbling, running the floor, footwork. I mean, just it's so much that's needed, and having that extra year, I think, could help her. But at the same time, she's still going to need that development that she'll need for the next level. Because when it comes to that, I mean, your life is on the line. Because these are some
Hmm.
grown women; they're not going to come in here and play with you. And one thing that you pointed out run as far as her making the roster. WNBA is notorious for drafting women and cutting
Mm,
them.
Mhm.
mm-hmm.
So, that's gonna be an eye opener for sure. With all this hype around her, she declaring the WNBA and then don't make a team. So then it's like, now what? What is her backup plan if she doesn't make the team? If she's willing to go overseas, will she regret the fact that she didn't stay that extra year? So it's so many questions around that. But even if let's say if she does make a team, this is going to be a growing moment for her. Is she mentally prepared for that? Because she's thinking she's ready to come in and play. Well, it's not going to be that easy. This isn't college. This is a totally different level, and
That's
these are
right.
some grown women that's going to come in here and let you know stepping in.
That's right.
I do.
So it's going to
I
be interesting to see.
Now, the development aspect, I do agree. I think she definitely has some major areas for growth, especially when it comes to footwork, moves around the basket. I mean, you're really going to need something when you're going up against your Asia Wilsons, right? And like players. And
Mm,
so I think that one thing though that I will give her, and I think that if she lands in the right hands, she can have some major improvement because she has a lot of upside. Okay, that's what she does have on her
yeah.
side. Oh, and it looks like we may have lost Ron for a moment. But she has a lot of upside. She's athletic. She can run.
Hmm.
Oh, welcome back, Ron. She can she can move decently well, especially for a big girl. She can get up and down the floor, and she's competitive. And I think that she wants to work hard. And so, with that,
Hmm.
I think having that upside, you really just need to land in the right hands. Now, it might take a while. Like you said, it might not be this first season, the first two seasons, really. Maybe it might take some intense developmental work with the right coach, maybe a season overseas, coming off the bench and just getting that experience. But I definitely think she does have some upside, but it'll be a commitment to putting the work in. It'll definitely be a commitment to putting the work in. So I'm not where Ron is. Yeah, I don't think she needs to commit to full time social media influencer. But I do think that with the right coaching and the right help, that we can see major improvements because like I said, she does have good upside. And that's hard to come by. While you do have players that are 6'3", 6'4" in the league, you don't have players that are 6'3", 6'4" that can move well, right? Or that can get up and down the floor really well, that
Hmm.
can kind of have that athleticism to them. So it'll be interesting to see where she lands and in whose hands she falls in. But I definitely think that she's probably riding the wave while she can by declaring for the draft. She's got that popularity, she's got the
Hmm.
clout, and right now maybe doesn't want to miss out on the opportunity to ride that wave out. But speaking of Angel Reese, Angel, if you could please play us the video that you have of Reese's farewell.
DJ bust that beat.
By you, Barbie, Angel Reese. All right, let's do this. 4 years. Where to begin? To my family, my mom, my MVP. To Baltimore and the Turks. To LSU, my PMAC home. To my teammates and coaches, managers and trainers. To God and His blessing of a life. Thank you. All of this is because of you. Thank you for loving me and supporting me in everything I do. For standing by me at my lowest. For making every second of the past 4 years a dream come true. I'm leaving college with everything I ever wanted. A degree, a national championship, and this platform I could have never imagined. This was for the girls that look like me, that's going to speak up on what they believe in. It's unapologetically you. To grow women's sports and to have an impact on those coming next. This was a difficult decision, but I trust the next chapter because I know the author. Bayou Barbie, out.
Well, that was That was really special. I like that. I like
Yeah,
that.
it was good.
That was good.
That was nice.
It was a
It
good
was
way to
better than
say
her last video. And when I say that because the WNBA people are going to be looking at the video that she did after the game because she talked about her emotional stress and how she was unhappy and all of that. They're going to look at it and go
Hmm.
like, oh, but let's take a real deep look at Angel. And, you know, that right there was something that she really didn't really understand what she was doing when she was crying and talking about all those things.
Hmm.
The people, personnel people for the WNBA, they look at that really hard and say like she may have some emotional problems. So I understand she lost the game, but she kind of like got on the couch there and said some things that
Hmm.
kind of raised the antennas a little bit.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I'm sure they'll maybe take it a bit with a grain of salt, knowing that she's what, 22, 21. You
No,
know, it's a
she's 23.
oh, she's 23. Excuse me, Ron. She's 23. Listen, Ron ain't giving her a room to
Yep, she's
breathe,
gonna
Coach
have to get
Mac,
stronger.
okay?
Nothing.
He said no room to
Nope.
breathe, okay? But listen, Ron being a longtime LSU fan, Ron, I
I'm a
completely
LSU
understand.
fan. I'm a LSU fan. You know, Angel Reese, those girls come and go. Those guys come and go. You know,
Oh
but
yeah,
to
indeed.
be a
Well,
fan, you got to stick with the program.
speaking about making declarations of leaving, Bronny James has entered the portal. What are y'all thoughts on
Mm.
Bronny
Dun, dun,
entering the
dun.
portal, and what type of school do you think that he would go to? I'm curious as to why he may have decided to leave as well too.
Well, let me start this off. I was surprised to see him go in the portal, but I'm also still up in the air with him because of his health situation. Uh, Bronny may have to play at a lower level school because we knew that he really wasn't a 5-star player or a 4-star player when he was in high school. He was a good player, don't get me wrong, but he
Mhm.
wasn't like an elite player.
Mhm.
But you know, when you have a dad who's all everything in the NBA and a legendary player, of course you're going to ride that wave with him. So I just hope that I don't know where he's going to go. I don't know if he's going to go to Duquesne or Kentucky or wherever. Anyway, I just wish him the best, and I just hope he gets well and he just goes and enjoy his life because they were looking at a one and done with him at USC, and
Mm.
the coach Andy Hemfinger, who I know really well, he left and he's now at SMU. He's down in your backyard, Coach Mac, in Dallas.
Yes,
So
sir.
he just took over that job because they let my buddy Rob Lane, they fired him at SMU. So that's the way it goes. But I
Mm.
tell you what, Andy just couldn't wait to get out of USC, man, and say like, man, I'm out of here. And Bronny followed him right along.
Coach Mac.
Yeah. I think it's interesting, and I'm not really surprised that he's leaving USC, mainly because Andy left too. That's kind of the nature of the business, as we all know. Once your coach leave, players pretty much fall right behind. But now to where he's going, I think there's a good chance that he'll probably end up at Duquesne simply because of Bronny's friend is the new head coach there now. That will be a good connection in so many ways. But then one thing I've heard someone do during an interview in regards to the G League, would that be a good fit for Bronny as well if he were to try to go to the G League? So I'm like, actually, it's yeah, no, not a bad idea. But still, even the G League is still going to be pretty competitive because
Hmm.
basically what you have are college players that pretty much come and play and go from that point on. So I don't know. I'm kind of like with Ron as far as maybe finding a smaller school that will be a better fit that will allow him to actually grow and become the player that he is. And hopefully, I mean, he'll never be able to leave his dad's shadow, unfortunately. And I hate that for kids. So just,
Mhm.
just let him be the player that he is and not compare him to his dad, which is happening way, way too much for Bronny. And that's a lot of pressure. But I do think going to a smaller school will probably be a much better fit for him, or at least get him to where he will be surrounded by the people that can help him develop him the way that he needs to be.
Mhm.
Absolutely. I 100% agree. I think a mid-major school, there's nothing wrong with it. There are, as we can see, mid-major schools are still getting opportunities, still getting looks, and able to end
Hmm.
up in a good spot, and have
Mhm.
some success. And I think a lot of people haven't been giving Bronny the grace of the fact that he literally had, um, like, his heart stopped, right? And we're talking about a
Yeah.
young kid here who is extremely in shape. You'd have to imagine pretty healthy, and still faced with something that was out of his control that is going to require recovery. But I do agree, Coach Mac. I do hope that he is able to go somewhere where the pressure is taken off. He can go be the man, and he
Hmm.
can go develop and dominate, and maybe even gain some confidence, gain some skill that he hasn't been getting from the things that he's currently been doing. But it looks like,
And playing time.
and playing time. I
Right,
mean,
right.
you get a lot of experience when it comes to playing time. Nothing compares
Hmm.
to in-game play. Nothing. even
Yep.
even your cardio. I remember my coach used to have us run the football field, and we're running every line on the football field.
Whew.
And then the first game, she wants to know why do we look so tired? Well, nothing compares to running up and down this
Difference.
basketball court. Right. We're running, we're jumping, we got to play defense. I got to box out, I got to bang against people. I mean, you're expending way more energy than touching every line on a football field. So, I think it'll
Yes.
definitely be good for him to get playing time and get that in-game experience where he will really be able to grow and develop. But we have another video, which it appears to be reactions to Bronny's decision. Let's take a look.
We had a big story today out of Los Angeles that apparently Bronny James has had enough, and he has put his name in the transfer portal, and he is leaving USC. I love right away the reaction of the people who said, "Oh, this is what he needs. He needs to get away from LeBron.
Oh yeah, get
and he
away
needs
from
to do all
Hollywood.
this.
Get
He needs to
yeah,
get away from his family." I'm like, you know what? This is where I just want to tell people, just shut up. You don't know what the family dynamic is. Maybe Bronny loves hanging out and going to USC and hanging out and being able to see his family all the time. His dad is LeBron James. Don't sit here and tell me, oh, he's got to
Right.
get away from LeBron. People act like that's what this whole thing is. Bronny's got to get away from LeBron. He's like he's doing interviews with Dr. Phil and on different shows saying, I just can't get out of his shadow. There's nothing I can do. I don't dare. I got to be me. Nobody knows. You want to talk about it? We'll talk about it about basketball because that's really what this is all about. But to sit here and say he's got to get away from LeBron, there's the shadow of LeBron. It's too huge. You don't know what anybody's family dynamic is. But, hey, I get wanting to play amateur psychologist, but
Sure.
let's just tell you right away, that's just stupid.
Of course, as you know, you could only imagine the weight it is being LeBron James Jr.
Hmm.
Everyone with an
Man,
opinion.
tough.
Everyone with an opinion. But we shall see what he decides and where he lands. It'll be interesting to see if he does end up at Duquesne, knowing the behind the scene connections that are there. But I'm wishing him nothing but the best. Now, sliding over to NBA play. My goodness. I almost led the show with this, but I think it's better now that we're at halftime to go ahead and jump right in. Steph Curry. Oh, poor baby. Poor Steph.
Oh man.
Okay. I mean, what more can he do with Draymond Green? I mean, we saw an in-game reaction that we have never seen from Steph Curry. I don't know if we've ever seen Steph with that level of frustration outside of the one time he threw that mouthpiece into the stands. Outside of that, this is probably the most frustrated I have ever seen Steph Curry, and especially a reaction to something that was out of his control. And it
Mm-hmm.
was Ron's boy, Draymond Green, back at up to his old
Get him,
antics and
Draymond. Get
ways.
him. Get him. Get him. Get
Up
him,
to his
Power
old
Ranger.
antics and ways. We saw, for those who did not get to see, Draymond Green received a technical and was he ejected, correct?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Draymond Green gets ejected, and we see Steph Curry wiping his eyes with tears welled up after the ejection in the middle of the game, coming out of the break. Please tell me you guys' thoughts on this whole situation. Is it over for Draymond Green? Is that enough to finally say, "Hey, stick a fork in him, we're done"? What is going to be the changing point when you have your franchise player shedding tears behind a player who just can't seem to get right?
Coach Mac, you go first because I got some choice word to say about my Power Ranger.
Yeah, so let me wrap mine up so I can hear these words. but but Draymond, I don't know if he gets traded, is he still gonna be the same? If it will help. Like it's like Draymond is just gonna be Draymond, no matter what. And he said that about himself anyway. So but to see Steph be frustrated, like that was heartbreaking to see that because I mean he literally gives his all and has given his all to this franchise for so many years, and to just have this image tied to it is terrible. It's heartbreaking. But I mean, I don't know what it's gonna take for the franchise themselves to make that change, to do something with Draymond. I mean, just do something with him. I don't know what y'all gonna do, but just do something, please, because this is terrible.
Just
Golden
do
State
something.
should not be. Just do something. Golden State should not be seen as the team with the player who can't control himself. And but what really baffles me or irritates me. I don't know. I just have so many emotions. The fact that everybody wants to, or some people want to say, or put the blame on Steph. Like, why is
Mm-hmm.
Steph not being the leader? And
Mm-hmm.
I'm so glad that Steve Kerr said Draymond is a grown man.
Mm-hmm.
Come on now, like you can't put the blame on Steph, saying Steph is not being the leader when Draymond is the one that's performing the actions, not Steph. Steph
Absolutely.
trying to do his job. Okay,
And let me just say to
we
that,
need Draymond to do his.
Coach Mac, one thing just really quick to add on to what you just said is that we also don't know the work that Steph has put in behind the scenes with Draymond as from a leadership perspective and also as a friend. Right? We
Very
don't,
true.
and a teammate.
Very
We
true.
we don't know the work. So that maybe also adds to the level of frustration that he felt in that moment that would cause tears because we don't see everything, and behind closed doors he could have
Hmm.
again given 110% to helping him be a better teammate, be a better player, be a better person. So we don't see that, and that just also is like, how can we question Steph as a leader when it comes to leading another grown man who is continuously making the same decisions over and over again? But I just had to add that in, as I agree with you, because we don't see it all. We're getting only a small
We
fraction
don't
of what's really going on behind closed doors.
Well, Coach Johnson,
run.
you Coach Johnson, you stole some of my thunder, but that's all right.
My bad, my bad, my
That's
bad.
all right. I'm glad you added that. I don't have to add it now. But Draymond, grown ass man, out there acting like a little adolescent on the basketball court, time and time again.
You tell him
Uh,
run.
I mean, Steph is probably crying because he knows it's coming to an end.
Mm,
He knows that
Mm.
the guy has some problems and he just can't shake them. He can't shake those demons. But the NBA also should be slept upside the face for not doing a little bit more when they said
Hmm.
they was going to keep him out for a longer time. He needs some help because
Mm-hmm.
he keeps doing the same thing over and over. What they say about insanity is
Oh
when you
yeah.
keep doing the same thing and over, you don't get any different results. You're not getting any different results with Draymond. And I don't know why the league and the people and the doctors don't see what's going on with him. And maybe that's one reason why Steph is crying because he goes like, man, this guy, we've been playing a long time together, and it's just that the buttons that we try to push to try to turn him off, we can't. He can't even turn himself off. He keeps doing the same old thing. So, Draymond, it's really time for you to go home and get some help. It's a sad situation, but you need some help, man. And hopefully, like they said, you can't put it all on Steph and the rest of the guys on that team. You your own man, and you got to run your life. Either you run your life, or somebody else is gonna run it for you. And it looks like he can't
Absolutely.
run his life.
Absolutely. And a comment from the Penguin AZ. First of all, welcome back. That was our first time viewer last show, but we see you
Hey.
made an appearance
Hey,
back.
what's going on?
Draymond Green is the knucklehead of the team. The team always has his back, but at times the game gets tired of the knucklehead.
That's
And you
right.
do have to agree. Was it
Mm.
Coach Kerr that said he deserved it? He was ejected. What were your thoughts on the ejection?
Yep.
And they said he deserved it.
Yeah.
And I really am curious to know when we look back 10 years from now, 15 years from now, and we are trying to figure out how did Draymond get to even stay in the league this long without really penalties really being handed down from the NBA. I think they've definitely have aided in his ability to continue with this behavior. Some severe and harsh penalties, for example, received by Meta World Peace, formerly known as
Right.
On Our Test, he came back a different person. He came back so different he had a name change.
That's
He
right.
went and got his name changed. So I really want to know why, but also say that the NBA has contributed to this. And there is some ownership that they need to take in that. I mean, honestly, the slap on Nurkic really should have been kind of, well, honestly, let me go back a little bit. The jump hop step off of Sabonis's chest
Mm-hmm.
was a big deal for me because you weigh how much and he's laying flat on his back and you're going to stomp your foot with your full weight and jump off of his chest. That is so dangerous. That is nowhere near a basketball move. That's not avoiding a player. I mean, that was so next level. And then to turn around 360 spin slap Nurkic across the face with the half closed fist. I just really didn't understand it. And the Penguin AZ said he is a good player. He is like Dennis Rodman in this new era.
Hey, that was
I
just a
don't know
Power
because
Ranger.
Dennis
That was
Rodman.
just a Power Ranger spin move. That's all that was.
I saw an interview that Dennis Rodman had done. I have to find it. I saw it this week, and he was talking about Draymond, how Draymond definitely wouldn't do that towards him. He was like, "Oh no, no, honey. Oh no, sweetie. No. Mm-mm.
Oh no,
No.
definitely not. No, Dennis Rodman put him in his place.
No.
Well, they really took the
Yes.
grit.
With the quickness.
They
Yeah, he
took
didn't call him
the
the worm for nothing.
Yeah, NBA to me, when you look over the years, has definitely changed the rules that make it more comfortable for the offensive player. Let me say that, right? They've added rules that cater to the offense and we move away from defense. So we're not seeing guys play defense the same way like your Bruce Bowens and they used to call him the Rash. I remember
The
watching a
rash.
special and Ray Allen said it was a special on Bruce Bowen and Ray Allen said there were times where he wanted to just put the ball down and say we could get him up. You know, forget this basketball game. We could go ahead and get them up. And so we don't see that level of defense being played the same way anymore. But also a part of that is definitely rule changes. And so I just don't know. I see Steph crying, and my first thought is that if it was LeBron who had to shed a tear, Draymond would have been traded that very next day.
Oh,
That
absolutely.
very next day, we would have saw headlines saying that he has been being traded. So it'll be interesting to see, will Draymond make it through the rest of this season? That's my ultimate question that I'm going to leave you guys
I'm praying.
with.
He'll still be here.
Coach Mack, you think they're just going to let it slide, huh?
Yep, he'll be here.
Uh-oh. And we have Draymond's reaction video. Angel, let's see it.
I got ejected 4 minutes into the game. Just can't do it, regardless of what was said. I'm not about to get into what was said because that's irrelevant. To Steph's point, I have to be on the floor, and whatever that means, you just have to do that. I look at this, I'm not overreacting to this because of everything that happened in the beginning of the season. I feel like since I've returned, everything's headed in the right direction and hit a little bump in the road, get over it and keep going. I said what I said. I deserved to get kicked out at that point. If I'm all the way honest with y'all, I kind of was trying to turn my body and angle and go to the bench. And I said what I said like a little too soon before angling my body to the bench. But yeah, it just can't happen. Like we need to win games. So like I said, not going to overreact like, oh man, like, stuff is never as good as it seems. It's never as bad as it seems. Like, I know where I am. I understand what I'm doing moving forward. And in my position, just make sure that's the
And
exception
see, that
and
little
not the
chuckle
rule.
he did during the interview, if I'm Steph Curry, oh my gosh.
See, I think that's the demeanor that's selling to the NBA because he
Yes.
seems like two different people. Obviously, he's gonna be, but he's a good salesman, and I think that's what's keeping him in the league. Because other than that, you can't tell me that he shouldn't be out of here by now. But hey, they're not paying me to make the decision, so
They're not. They're not. Hey, they're
It's
not
out of
paying
your
us.
control, huh, Coach?
Hey, we're just the media. That's it. We're
out
just
of
the
my
media.
control.
We're just the media. We talk
Out of
about
my
the stuff,
control.
but we speculate, we comment on the decisions, but hey, we're just the awesome team of the media. But before we go, as we are coming up on the show concluding, I definitely wanted to highlight Coach Mac's G League babies and some awards that were given. Coach Mac, if you do us the honor in sharing us some of that good G League news.
Absolutely. For one, playoffs started yesterday. I'm super excited about that. So if you guys do get a chance to watch, there will be some games on ESPN. Tubi TV, I think, is another one that they have the games coming on. But
Yes.
the thing that I most certainly want to highlight is Coach of the Year. And I'm super excited because she's female
Yay.
and number one seed. Her name is Lindsay Harding, and she's the head coach with the Stockton Kings. And so right now their record is 24-10. So impressive record. This is her first year too. Also, if I'm not mistaken, this is her
Wow.
first year coaching, and yeah, so like she's really, really, really setting the bar for so many at this moment. So super excited about that. Definitely want to give her a shout out in regards to that. And then also, I want to point out Memphis Grizzlies because I really feel
Ooh.
like
Woo-hoo.
that whole squad is G League by now. I'm pretty sure they have about maybe somewhere between 8 to 9 players that are G League. So yeah, if you really want to see a whole G League squad, check out the Memphis Grizzlies because they're
Yep.
there.
Well, they said that the Memphis Grizzlies right now is the most injured team in NBA history.
Yep.
There's never been a team before that has had this many injuries where not only are they injured but they're playing, but injured and out. Cannot play. Done.
Hmm.
So, what a great
That
way to
is,
keep the organization going, and they're still winning games. So what does that say about the G League
yes.
and call ups and really about the ability to use your G League team and use the league, giving guys
Oh,
chances?
yeah.
Be ready for your opportunity.
Absolutely. And they've also, yes, and another great thing is they've also extended Isaiah Thomas's contract again.
Yes.
So apparently he's doing something great, finally, at least finally for the coach to realize. So they definitely extended his contract again. So kudos to Isaiah for the extension. So I'm super excited about that. And then also they are, well, they've had a team in Phoenix before, so they're bringing that team back, which should be for next season, if I'm not mistaken. So Phoenix will have a G League team, which is great, and I think now all the NBA teams will have an affiliate team. So kudos to G League for expanding. Now, if we can just get that pay increase, they'll be on to something.
Oh, they're definitely on to
Definitely.
something. And a
Definitely.
question by the Penguin AZ, is Ja injured also? Haven't
Oh
kept up
yeah.
with him. Oh, Ja has been out for a while.
He's out for the
Yep.
season.
As soon as
Yeah.
he came back, he was
He
gone.
sure is.
Yeah. Yeah.
He
Literally.
definitely, he's a
He's
talented
out for the
player.
season.
And I do agree, the Penguin AZ, he can be good, and he's really a prime TV type of player, right? He's a prime TV type of player. When he's on TV, you need to sit down and watch. You need to sit down and watch, and
Yes.
so it'll be interesting to see how he comes back. And maybe he needed this extra time from a mental standpoint and
Hmm.
maturity standpoint. To make the same
Mm.
mistake twice and get another opportunity. Hey, this might be the time you need to really reevaluate your circle, reevaluate the people around you, and get some maturity about you, right? It's mature a little bit.
Hmm.
Hopefully he has some good people in his ear and in his corner encouraging that. And just to answer Coach Mac, you we had a question come in about the coach, and Phoenix. No, so Lindsey Harding won Coach of the Year in the G League for Stockton.
Right. Hey,
Yes.
coach.
Stockton Kings.
Hey, coach. Before we leave, Coach Johnson, I'd like to get predictions on the South Carolina and North uh, Carolina State game for the women,
Yep,
and
yep.
I'd like to get the
Ooh,
Final
that's
Four.
gonna
Who
be
y'all
a good
think
one.
with the UConn playing North Carolina State, and of course
Ooh,
uh, Purdue playing those pesky Alabama guys.
Okay, go ahead, Ron. You lead the way.
Oh,
You
okay,
lead
okay, well,
you lead
okay,
the way. Then after the predictions, we'll go ahead and wrap it up.
okay. I have Purdue winning over Alabama because of course Edie is going to be a handful, and
yes, yes,
UConn
indeed.
UConn is going to you know beat my guy Kevin Keats. Man, I mean he has done a really great job with North Carolina State, and I see it being a UConn Purdue championship game with UConn winning it all.
Oh,
Yeah. No,
Yes, let me hear you say that again, Ron. That was music to my ears.
no, I'm moving on. Let me move on to the ladies because I ain't got time to be playing with Coach Mac right now. Uh, South Carolina going up against North Carolina State, and I have South Carolina winning that.
Ooh,
I already have given my prediction on that Iowa UConn game, and I got Iowa playing South Carolina in the championship. Sorry, Coach
mm.
Mac, and with
that's
South
okay.
Carolina winning it all. Uh, but you're gonna wear that jacket for the guys, right? If they win.
Yes,
Oh, okay, okay,
of
okay,
course.
okay,
UConn
okay.
everything,
Of
Ron.
course. I
UConn
got the
Yeah,
everything.
shirt, I got the
I just
jacket.
wanted some
Let
clarification.
them
I
know.
just wanted some clarification. I
You better
thought,
be glad I can't find a headband because I'll wear it too.
oh, I'll send you one.
Okay, and real quick, Ron, a comment came in about Edie, this player you spoke about. The Penguin AZ said he might have lost some mojo with the girl he snuck into his room.
Huh?
Don't tell me why it's been on the
Uh-oh.
tournament. I haven't heard about that, T.
That's some tea I
Wait
haven't
a
heard
minute, we
about
on
either.
to
But you know
some.
what? Why? What they're going to suspend them or something? What's going on?
I'm not sure. I didn't hear that, T, but
Yeah.
if we gain some traction on some of that tea, we definitely have to speak about it next week, depending on if they come up short, huh?
Yeah, I mean, it's
Mm.
probably a school thing. If it's something like that, it's not an NCAA thing. It's just
Oh yeah. Oh
yeah,
yeah,
but
maybe team rules, but
yeah,
I
team
will.
rules. But I doubt going into the Final Four if they're going to set him on the bench.
Ron, I might have to go. I don't know. NC State on the men's side, they've been playing some really good
It's tough.
basketball. They've been playing some really good basketball.
Are
So
you
I
going for
don't
NC
know.
State?
I'm not going for them, Ron. What I'm
Okay,
really,
I just want.
what
I
I'm
just
going
want.
for is how I could get a way to get back into college and get some eligibility, so I get me an NIL deal.
Girl, your days are gone.
Hello.
Right now.
That's who I'm
Your,
rooting. I'm rooting
your
for you
days
to
are
do
I
gone.
just want to be on the bench.
You so- you can get some coaching work in, but you ain't gonna get no playing work in.
Are they giving coaches NIL deals?
No, they giving them good contracts though.
Like we need to talk about that and real quick, and then we'll come back to Luca, who might be the highest paid NBA player coming soon. But I don't know, Ron. I'm leaning towards NC State on the men's side, and for the women's, I'm gonna go with South Carolina. But I do want to give a shout out to a player that I used to train when I was in Australia that is currently playing for NC State women's side right now. So shout out to Lizzie. Good luck on the game. While I would love to see them win, I do have South Carolina taking it off.
And on the men's side, who you have taking it
It's
all? North
definitely going to be
Carolina
a tough
State,
game.
I'm leaning for NC State.
all the way.
Yeah, I think they have a
Okay,
really strong chance. And Ron, I'm always with the underdog.
I understand.
I'm with the underdog.
Wow,
Uh
that's
oh,
nice.
I see Mr. Johnson jumping in on my side. Coach Mac, who you got?
I'm definitely going with UConn on the men's side. Now, I will say that North Carolina State, that's going to be a battle. That's going to be a battle because Burns, nah, you ain't finna move him first off. So,
DJ.
impeccable footwork. I mean, just I'm first off, I've never seen one person look like three different peoples. You got Zach Randolph, who he looked like.
Yeah,
You got like Shaq, who he looked like. I mean, just pick one. But yeah, I love his game. I mean, I haven't seen a true center or post player, as we would say, like him in a very long time. And it's a
Mm-hmm.
beautiful thing to see. Oh my
Mm-hmm.
gosh, it's such a
Changes
beautiful
the
thing to
game.
see.
Mm-hmm.
We're so used to seeing, yeah, we're so used to seeing everybody wants to be a quote unquote guard or the Euro style,
hmm
but to actually see him on the block, posting up, using his body, banging somebody in and scoring, I mean, it's beautiful. And I'm like, thank you. Thank you so much for staying true to the game because it's beautiful. But I'm still going with UConn.
Okay.
UConn is just it's gonna be that's gonna be tough for NC State to try to knock out UConn because
Yeah,
UConn they got some guards, they got some shooters, they got it inside out. So
they got some muscle.
yeah, I got UConn and again South Carolina. They definitely got some muscle.
Now, hold on. Before we leave, what I want to know, where is the star of the show? Because you had, first of all, for those who don't know, somebody turned 21 last weekend. Let's remember that one. But since the last appearance, where's mom, the star of the show? She's not
Oh,
here this week. That's 2
well,
weeks in a row.
I'm gonna have to send her. Now she was here last week in person, so she sat down here next to where I set up, and she listened to us right here, sitting next to me.
And you didn't put her on?
No, I didn't. And it's funny because
Oh, come on, coach.
when I
Dang,
was
you get to
getting
put the
ready,
lady on.
she said, "Oh, I need to get ready to make my star appearance." And I
Oh boy.
said, "You're not coming on the
Oh,
show
you should have
today."
put her on, man. You had her right next to you?
Yeah, I did.
Oh.
I did. But Ron, we can't put coach in front of her name. It's only one
You don't
Coach
she don't need
Johnson.
no coach in front of her name. She made a coach. She made the coach.
She did. I will give her that. She definitely did. I appreciate her for that too.
Yeah.
forever in debt. But yeah, I know. I will have to get on her about that. So when she's watching this on replay, I want you to know, Mom, they were looking for you.
Right. And you was right there and you didn't let her on. Maybe that's why she didn't come back.
Oh, nah, Ron. Nah. We won't go with that one. Hey, Angel, make sure you delete that part out.
I was just kidding.
I know. So, Coach Mac, we can say it's final. Coach Mac has UConn on both sides. Is that fair to say?
South Carolina for women,
Okay.
UConn for men.
Okay. Well, we'll see when we come back next Wednesday what it's looking like. And really quick before we go and wrap this up, just got to take the time to say, Coach Mac, why aren't we in the NBA? Luca is set to get $346 million for a 5-year supermax contract
Woo.
if he stays with Dallas.
Can I just bring him his towel? I just want to bring a towel. Can I get paid just to bring? I'll wipe the sweat off your forehead with the towel. Can I just do that and get just? I'll take 1%.
Yeah.
It could be 0.5%. I'm not picky.
I'm not picky. Now, my question about the money and him being with the Mavs. Now, if he stays with the Mavs, do you foresee them becoming a championship team? Or would you stay? Again, we've had this conversation before. Get your super max and get your money.
The way the Mavs are looking, well, I'll say they've been performing
Not the
pretty
way the
well. Still
Mavs are
a
looking.
championship team, but no, we still missing some pieces. So even yeah, we still missing some stuff.
Yeah.
So we're not at the championship level yet. We may we may make it past the first round this year. I give us that. We may, and that's pretty much all we get to anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully, it will go further, but we'll see. Still not championship worthy yet, but we'll get there. Maybe.
Mm.
I don't know.
So you say
If y'all
stay
could
and
get a
collect.
DJ Burns on y'all's team, y'all would be all right.
You know what they
Ooh,
need,
that
Ron?
would be lovely.
They need a defender, Ron. That's what they need.
Well, he's a defender too. He does it both. He does well on both ends.
He does.
He's just a Zach Randolph creation. That's all.
Oh yeah, Zebo
Yep.
Jr.
Mm. As a
But
matter of fact, I saw his daughter play yesterday.
mm,
She played in McDonald's All American
Oh,
game,
nice.
oh, okay, nice.
and Shaq's daughter did too.
Yeah, she's a bucket.
I'm
She's a
Yeah,
looking forward
she's
to watching her play for sure.
yeah.
oh
Yeah,
yeah.
I
Okay.
watched Ron Harper's son, baby son, play too last night.
Oh yeah, it sounded like it was some good basketball going on.
Oh yeah. Of course, it was
Oh
All
yeah.
American game in Houston last night.
Oh yeah. Well, when we come back next
Yep.
week, I know we will be filled with updates as well as some NCAA updates, which is what I'm really looking forward to. I feel like March Madness has completely flown by. But I just want to say shout out to everybody who joined us tonight, watched the live show. Thank you so much for tuning in on Talking Hoops Sports Radio 102.9 The Game. It's your girl, Coach Johnson, Coach Mac, Ron Briscoe, where you can catch us live from your phone anytime. If you visit Sports Radio 102.9 The Game, you can download the app on BroadStreetSouth.com and catch us live on YouTube, on LinkedIn, and if I'm not mistaken, Facebook and Twitter. But just know we are on all platforms, okay? Right from the palm of your hand. But we want to thank everybody for tuning in, and we look forward to seeing you all next week. Oh,
Thank you.
thanks, Angel.